Hello and welcome to Genesis Training. This is your trainer Kaustav. This is the third video in the series of time, speed and distance, and in this video we'll be dealing with the subtopic of relative speed. So let's get started. When it comes to relative speed, it basically means your speed with respect to somebody else's speed. For example, there are just two types of scenarios over here. We have person A, we have person B. They are either moving in the same direction or A and B are moving in the opposite directions. Alright, so first let us talk about the opposite direction scenario. When A and B are moving in the opposite direction, the relative speed is the sum of the speeds, that is speed A plus speed B. And when they are moving in the same direction, the relative speed is the difference between the speeds, that is speed A minus speed B. Now, how do you make sure that you never screw this up? Now, what you can do is you can imagine whenever you and your friend are walking beside each other, both of you are moving in the same direction and in the same speed because both of you are talking to each other. So this means that with respect to you, your friend is not moving. With respect to your friend, you are not moving. So with respect to each other, you both are not moving. So what is your relative speed? Your relative speed is 0. That is why it's the difference. And whenever two people are moving in the opposite direction, both of you cross each other extremely fast. You do that because your relative speed is the sum of both the speeds. So when these two people are considered as one unit, the speed becomes really high. And when the speed becomes really high, the time duration to cover this distance decreases, because we all know that speed equals distance by time. That means speed is inversely proportional to time. So the more the speed, the less the time. The less the time, the more the speed. That's it. Just imagine if B was stationary at this position, then A would have taken more time to cross B, right? Now if B is also covering this distance and A is also covering this distance, that means the time taken to cross each other will become less, and if the time becomes less, then the speeds become more. So when it comes to the same direction, we subtract the speed, and when it comes to opposite direction, we add the speeds. That's it. Let's start with the questions. The distance between two cars running at the speeds of 60 km per hour and 40 km per hour respectively in opposite directions on parallel tracks is 300 meters. The time which they take to meet each other is what? Okay, let's do it. Time is nothing but distance by speed, and in this case it is relative speed. Distance between them is 300 meters divided by speeds. Should we add them or subtract them? They have mentioned opposite direction. We just learned that opposite direction means that the relative speed will be the sum of both the speeds. So we have 60 plus 40. So a lot of people, what they will end up doing is 300 divided by 100, that is 3. But that is the wrong answer. 3 seconds is not correct. Why? Because the units are not matching. 300 is in meters, 60 and 40 are in kilometer per hour. So we need to either change this meter to kilometers or kilometer per hour to meter per second. So a lot of people ask me how to know which one to convert. It's very easy. All you have to do is look at the options. All the options are in seconds. So you don't need to convert meters to kilometer. You just need to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. And how do we do that? We had learned that in the first video. Kilometer per hour to meter per second, we are going from big to small. That means we have to multiply by 5 by 18. So 60 plus 40 into 5 by 18. This is the answer. Now let's calculate this. We have 300 divided by 100 into 5 into 18, because denominator of denominator is numerator. This one gone. 3 into 18 is 54 divided by 5. That is equal to 10.8 seconds. So the answer is D. Moral of the story, make sure you always check if the units are matching. And how do you know which unit to convert? All you have to do is look at the options and match the units accordingly. That's it. Let's move on. Question number 2. The distance between a man and a car is 125 meters. The man is running at 5 km per hour in the same direction in which the car is going. They meet in 10 seconds. The speed of the car is what? Okay, let's do this then. In the same direction. Same direction means we all know that speed equals distance by time, and this is relative speed. Same direction means subtraction. That is the speed of the car minus the speed of the man. The speed of the man they have given as 5 km per hour. This is equal to distance. Distance between them is 125 divided by the time taken is 10. Now again there is an issue of units. 5 is in kilometer per hour. 125 by 10 is in meter per second. We need to either change this or this. What do? All we do is look at the options. All the options are in kilometer per hour. So we don't need to touch 5 at all. We need to convert this meter per second to kilometer per hour. We are going from small to big. So 5 by 18 or 18 by 5. We are making it bigger. So we multiply with a bigger number, that is 18 by 5. That's all. Let's cancel things out. We have 5 into 25 is 125. 5 5s are 25, 5 2s are 10, and 2 9s are 18. 5 into 9 is 45. So speed of the car is 45 plus 5. This goes this side, becomes plus. The answer is 50 km per hour. Answer is B. A lot of people get this 45 and then they end up marking A as the answer. Or they screw up the plus or minus over here and then they get 40 as the answer. But the correct answer is 50. Basically, any type of mistake you make in this question, your wrong answer will be there in the options. So make sure you remember, just because your answer is there in the options does not guarantee that it's the correct answer. Sometimes you might have just made a very commonly made mistake. Remember that. Let's move on. Find the distance between two cars which are moving in the opposite directions, traveling at 20 km per hour and 25 km per hour and meet in 30 seconds. Alright, we know that distance equals speed into time, and speed in this case again is relative speed. They are moving in opposite directions, that means the speeds need to be added. We have 20 plus 25 into time. Time is 30 seconds. Now again there is an issue. These are in kilometer per hour and this is in seconds. All the options are in meters. So we don't need to touch 30 at all, that is okay. But these kilometer per hour we need to change to meter per second. So we are going from big to small. So we have to multiply with a smaller number. That is 5 by 18. This is in meter per second into the time is 30. Let's do this. We have 45 into 5 by 18 into 30. 9 5s are 45, 9 2s are 18, 2 15s are 30. 25 into 15, the answer is 375 meters. The answer is C. That's it. Let's move on. Vinod runs from A to B in 10 minutes. Mahesh runs from B to A in 15 minutes. If they both start at the same time, when do they meet each other? Okay, let the distance be D. Distance is equal to D. So the speed of Vinod is nothing but distance by time. So D by 10. The speed of Mahesh equals distance by time, that is D by 15. If they both start at the same time, when do they meet each other? That means after how much time do they meet each other? That is the question. Okay. So A to B and B to A, that means they are moving in the opposite directions. That means the speeds need to be added. And they have asked us to find the time. Let's do that. Time equals distance by speed. What is the distance? That is nothing but d divided by. The speeds need to be added, that is d by 10 plus d by 15. So distance divided by time. Let's do this. Distance divided by speed, sorry. So d and d gone. 1 divided by LCM of 10 and 15 is 30. 30 by 10 is 3 plus 30 by 15 is 2. The answer is 30 by 5, that is equal to 6. Answer is 6 minutes. That's it. That is the answer. Let's move on. In the previous question, if the distance between them is 1500 meters, how far from A do they cross each other? How far from A? Who is traveling from A? Vinod is traveling from A. So we have half the answer already. The total time taken, time taken for them to meet each other is 6 minutes, right? So in 6 minutes, Vinod traveled how much? That is what we need to find. Now Vinod's speed is d by 10, and here they have mentioned that d equals 1500. So speed of Vinod is 1500 by 10. 1500 meters by 10 minutes. That is nothing but 150 meters per minute. So how much distance did Vinod travel in 6 minutes? That is nothing but 150 into 6. 15 into 2 is 30. 30 into 3 is 90. So we have 900 meters. That is the answer. 150 into 6 is 900 meters. And if at all they had asked how far from B do they cross each other, that would have been 1500 minus 900. That would have been 600. That's it. Let's move on. Question number 6. A car goes from Bangalore to Chennai at 50 km per hour. Another car goes from Chennai to Bangalore at 60 km per hour. So opposite directions. If the distance between the two cities is 495 kilometers, how far from Bangalore do they cross each other? We have Bangalore, we have Chennai. The distance is 495 kilometers. Okay. So let's find the time taken by them to meet each other. Time equals distance by speed. In this case, it is relative speed. Distance is 495 divided by relative speed is the sum of the speeds because they are moving in the opposite directions. We have 50 plus 60. So we have 495 divided by 110. 11 tens are 110. 11 into 45 is 495. That is equal to 4.5 hours. 45 by 10 is 4.5 hours. So in 4.5 hours they meet each other. But the question is how far from Bangalore do they cross each other? So it's the first train who is going from Bangalore to Chennai. So the distance from Bangalore is nothing but 50. That is the speed of this train, that is 50. In how many hours? 4.5 hours. So 50 into 4.5. How much is that? 50 into 4 is 200. 200. So 50 into 0.5 is 25. So 225 kilometers. That is how you calculate when it comes to decimals. 50 into 4.5 is 50 into 4 plus 50 into 0.5. That is 225 kilometers. That's it. So the only thing that you need to take away from this video is when two entities are moving towards each other, that is in the opposite directions, the relative speed is the sum of the speeds. And when they are moving in the same direction, the relative speed is the difference between the speeds. That's it. That is all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.